have some explanation to do before we start to do anything else, to be honest. Today is the first day of a new series, as the title implies. We are starting a new thing called Discovery Monday, where we will go over a new tool, whatever it is. Today is Spline, and we'll see what it is, how it works, what we have, what we can do with it. So some of them I have tested in the past. Some of the other one that I have in mind, I have never even an account on their website. So I've seen the landing page, but I have never been inside. So we'll see how that works. But yeah, the goal is to showcase the fact that even me, with 17 years of experience in design, I can still learn some shit design related. And you can too. That is the point. So today's Spline, we are gonna have a bit of a look at this tiny thing, and we'll see what we can do, what we can't do. I have played with it in the past, but they added a lot of shit since last time, so I'm sure I will be surprised. I will have an easier time than some of you in this tool specifically. So yeah, so that's the plan for today, trying to explore Spline, give you some advice and or tips if we find things that are interesting. Spline's subscription level is at 0. Oh, plan, not plane, because plane is like flight things. I'm at 0, I'm at 3. I don't have anything paid in Spline for now. Wait, let's log in. So, what do you see when you arrive? For some reason, a ton of notifications. One from Tencent, apparently, and one from their new release. So the release makes sense. The Tencent one, I can't read that, so I don't know what it is, but I will just get rid of them. You have a ton of tutorials underneath, which is really good in my views for anyone who is just starting to understand how things can work. So this is really cool. Continuing on that, we then have the example from the library, which are free things, and you can just use them and remix them, which is great. Someone on Twitter asked, what is the best crash course on Spline? When you open Spline for the first time, you have that fucking first row tutorials. So if you're not blind and you're looking for a crash course on how to use Spline, there is this page in Spline that gives you exactly what you are asking for. Spline is a browser-based 3D tool. You can think about it as the Figma of 3D tools. So it's a 3D browser-based editor that gives you the ability to have multiple people in the same 3D file and have really cool shit. Plus, one of the huge benefits of Spline currently is the fact that it has the ability to be implemented into Webflow website or Framer website and have interaction-based 3D added to any site that you're building in no code without really having to do anything. I think it came back since 2021. 3D has been slowly growing into websites. The huge difference, I would say, from before, the 3D that we had on website before and the 3D that we have now, is that today 3D on websites is interactive. You have a lot of things that are just reacting to the user clicks or the user position on the website, the scroll and all that. That makes it even easier to implement and really cool to have. I can tell you that if you have knowledge of Core Framer, you're good. You will learn that in a second. So yeah, so if you are looking for tutorials, which we are not looking at, the idea is to go in blind. You have a ton of tutorials in there, and when I'm just looking at the titles, you have things that will help you understand how to model, help you understand how to have micro interaction on clicks right there, how to have textures of glass or shading type of thing, glow, which is great, and now apparently variables, drag and drops, and path animation. It's kind of great. So that's the thing that you see when you arrive for the first time. You have your files, tutorials if you don't know what you're doing, and some examples underneath. They are prompting you, obviously, to activate the paid plan, because obviously they want money. So That's pretty cool. And you have this sidebar which has the homepage, which we are on, your files, things that are shared with you if you have multi-user files. Community, which is the community tab similar to the Figma community tab, which contains things that you can reuse. Tutorials, which we clicked on. Library, which I don't really know if it's like an extended version of that. I'm guessing yes. And an inbox, which contains notifications. So that is the homepage. You can create new folders, you can create new files or import files. That is interesting. And then you have your archive, your updates when it happens, and your help center. Cool. That's a simple overview, but you have everything that you need. But what we need to do is, there's a new file, look. So when you're creating a new file, you are arriving on that, which is the workspace. From what I can see, we have the exact same interface as all other design tools to be relevant and familiar. So on the right side, that's the left side, my dude. On the left side, you have the layer list. On the right side, you have the inspector. On the top, you have your tools. And then if it's a new fucking files, you are getting something that is basically just starting not from scratch. It's giving you like a bit of a prompt to say, do you want to start with text? Do you want to start with an iPhone? Do you want to start with physics-based content? Whatever the fuck you want. Do that, maybe, I don't know, maybe you just want a glass effect. I have no clue. If I click outside, I kind of don't want to do that, but I also kind of want to do that. I'm probably going to be prompted with the rectangle directional light thing that is in the background, probably. But before I do that, let's explore what I can see and just make sure that I'm not missing anything. Why are you scared of Spline? Spline is pretty interesting and currently relevant like that. We have scene one, assets, I'm guessing a gallery plus to add some content, but probably will bring that back, I'm not sure. The layer list, which contains a search bar, which is really cool. We have library at the bottom. Back to Spline. So that side is pretty interesting. You have a menu, I don't know what it does, and there is an arrow that will probably bring me back to my files. Cool. This plus seems to be the same as this. I don't know. And then you have things that seems to be AI, then rectangle, circle, text, cube, sphere. If you want to do path, your cursor, comments, because you can have comments because it's a multiplayer things, and then focus on what you have, which is pretty simple. Zoom, export, that makes sense, and play if you have something that is animated. Cool. On the bottom, you have the orthographic and perspective view, which basically orthographic is what makes things look funky 3D like this. Perspective will have a vanishing point, which is a bit different, but it's similar, whatever. And then here on the, what I call the inspector, you have a viewport that define what on the viewport, which is your personal camera, which I guess would help you to switch between your personal camera and the camera you have in the scene if you have cameras in the scene. I'm guessing. I don't know. Frames. I don't know what that does, but that's okay. Background color, that makes sense. Camera, which is what I was talking about. Lights, which we have a directional light already placed, but I'm guessing you can have multiple lights, like the studio lighting option. Simulation for physics. Effect, we'll see what that does. Fog is apparently just a fucking switch, which is great. Ambient shadow, which will also probably go with the studio lighting things, global settings of the floor, positioning, and then there is probably more settings underneath, but I can't scroll because this is open. So for now, let's glass effect thing, right? From there we have point light, directional light, which are in two different places. One rectangle, two rectangle, three rectangle. Cool. And then the 3D glass effect, which I'm guessing when we're selecting elements, things are changing. And we can try the AI texture generation, which is pretty interesting as well. But yeah, I was right. There is more things underneath. But cast a shadow, it receive a shadow. Yes, that is pretty cool. We can have a cloner added to that. We can have a collision. And I am thinking that there should be an option to animate that, which I'm guessing is for events, probably. Once we're here on Spline and we have something right there, me being me, I know how to navigate a 3D tool. We'll have that advantage if you don't know, but you can use your pointer to select things. Right click, left click does different things. Scroll wheel, click will give you some navigation options, and then you have the options to use command or control to have the rotation of your elements. Shift works the same way. An object with animation needs to be imported in the scene before the scene can be used. That is interesting. I don't know if that's the same thing, but maybe. Ma! Oh, by the way, thank you for that. I absolutely forgot. Yeah. Have a good toe shaving time. We finally have parity deals. If you don't know what parity deals are, basically based on your location, we now have a discount code that will be displayed at the top of the website of Mom, right there, that give you a massive discount. So if you are like in Argentina, you can have 50% off. If you are in, I don't know, Turkey, you could have 70% off or something. I don't exactly know how it is, but it's based on the buying power of the currency you are living in. This extension that I added helps you and me to have a fair deal on everything, but also it helps me to avoid someone get a VPN and just pretend they are somewhere else. So it should be good. Yeah, if that's interesting to you, do that and you can have a massive discount. And then the second thing on that link, the second link in that message, if you become an affiliate of Lemon Squeezy and then you help me sell something to someone else that is in another country that doesn't have a discount code, you can technically have a more than positive thing at the end of the entire transaction. So that's interesting. I would highly recommend you to do that. I wish we could keyframe that. So yeah, right now I'm trying to understand how to do animation, but I feel like I made a mistake. The current state and the base state makes no real sense, as in I can't really define that. Base state and state makes no sense either. That's my base state. Can I change the position here? Oh yeah, I can. Okay, cool. So if I do that, my base state at T, and then my state is 150, and then I create an event that is a transition from my state to my base state, in and out, looping infinite with a reverse, not reverse, it's the same shit, on start. Damn! So I wanted to do some animation things to see how it works, and yeah, okay, cool. So technically it's different than Blender for the keyframing. You don't really have keyframing, you have automated transition between states. So you can create multiple states and then you can go through your states one by one. So if you have a walking person, you have the state of the right knee going up, then followed by the right knee going down, then the feet touching the floor, and then the rest of the body following. And so all of these states would be like basically 5 or 6 states for a walk. Could be a thing, and then you just animate between these things. That's pretty cool. So yeah, we have the Spline community that gives you access to a ton of already made elements. So that's pretty cool. Have a good work session if you can do that, and thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. I appreciate that a lot. The transparency, pretty cool. And now the thing that happens is we can just play with the sandwich as we want. Fun to see that angle, because it doesn't look transparent based on that. It doesn't have enough. Doesn't have enough overlay. Yeah, it's cool. This is cool. So you can add me. Damn, I didn't know that. All right, that's interesting. Okay, cool. I want to add something, and I want to see that. It's crazy that you can have a fucking particle limiter right there, and just how in 2 seconds. I wish I could expand the entire thing, which I feel like is here. Yes, it is. Cool. That's a bit weird. Also, my computer is just crying right now because... Sorry, how? All right. If you don't... Having particles in a 3D environment has been some of the most challenging things in the past, when you had Blender or Maya or other things, and you had to render for hours to get your particles to be defined. The fact that the tech currently is as good as this is kind of cool. Thank you. Appreciate it. But my computer doesn't like the Stream Plus, the 3D. That's for sure. I can hear the fan. I can hear the fan so bad. You have no clue. It is crazy. Anyways, this is great. So far, what I've learned because that's the goal of the stream, and that you can learn at the same time. But what I've learned is that Spline overall is pretty simple to understand. The fact that I have achieved some things animation wise, particle wise, simulation wise in the span of technically 30 minutes on Spline, because we've been talking for so long, it's kind of great. And going back to who said that? Abdel said, I forgot who said that. We have the community section, which has so much shit that other people have been doing. This, for example, look at that. That's so cool. Damn, it was cool the first time, and now we have the glossy thing that just loaded. It looks amazing. It looks great. Yeah. So you can have access to all of these things that are in the community. You can just remix them. Some of them is, I don't even know if some of them are paid. I don't think so, but maybe. How do you even get started with making something like this? You have this amazing tutorial that will help you understand how to do path and create right design in a cursive manner, and you get that. So there are other things that I haven't checked, like fog simulation. The ambient shadows are just great. They look great. This is insane. Yeah. Just a reminder for those of you who don't know, I'm not old, but I'm old. And when I started playing with 3D in 2007, 2008 maybe, you needed power the size of my house, not really, but kinda, to be able to just have a cube. And now I can do that with realistically looking shadows and glass and blurs and animation, and I'm fine. This is crazy. Look, you can have that on hover. Fucking bitch. This is great. My brain is melting. Nonetheless, this is great. I think we've learned enough for that's sick. Pretty interesting. The basic next step for the learning experience that you could have on there is learning how to model things, learning how to plan or create more and animation for physics and textures and all that. I don't like how they are handling textures, and I say that right now. It is limiting, which I guess I get because of the tech that is behind it. But when you're coming from like Blender or Cinema 4D for textures, I'm used to things that let me do plenty of stuff. Whereas here, I just have predefined elements texture, and I need to play with that. So there is a lot of experimentation that needs to happen to make sure that I can understand how it works. But that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I'm impressed with the tool as always, and you should definitely try it if you haven't. And if you are someone, as I said, who has used Figma or Framer or Webflow or whatever design tools that exist, you should feel at home in Spline. If you're here and you enjoyed the stream, please click the follow button. That would be highly appreciated. Nonetheless, take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, evening, afternoon, whatever. And I will see you next time, tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Bye.